Greetings fanboys and fangirls, Jared here with another video review from Fanboys Forever. Today we're going to be having a look at the latest release from the Turtles of Grayskull line. It's Two-Bop Steady, the two-headed mutant monstrosity. So of course the Turtles of Grayskull line is kind of a mashup between Masters of the Universe and Ninja Turtles. And here we have a mashup between Bebop and Rocksteady and Too Bad. This is such a creative idea. I'm not really sure that this one ever would have occurred to me just on my own, but now that it's here, it's kind of hard to believe it wouldn't have, because it seems like such an obvious thing in hindsight. So it seems only natural that these two lunkheads would be slammed together like this. This is figure 4 in the Target exclusive line of deluxe Turtles of Grayskull figures. This started out with the Mauser Trapjaw, Slash, and the Slacker or Slaker, I guess, and Grayskull Splinter. And this is the 4th and final figure in this year's series. Of course, all of these were meant to have you collect the parts for Metal Botto, which is the first and only Build-A-Figure in modern Masters of the Universe. And boy oh boy, were they spaced out releases to get all the parts, with each figure being about 2 or 3 months apart from one another. Full disclosure, we'll be doing a separate review of Metal Botto. I feel like, it would be a little much to try to cram an entire deluxe figure and all of its features in with Metal Botto. We will, of course, look at the parts that this guy comes with just real briefly with his accessories, but be on the lookout for the full review. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe, like the video. Those things really help us out. And comment down below letting me know if you've collected this line and what you think of this guy in particular, and if you've been able to find this guy at your local Target. With all that out of the way, let's begin. So just looking at the packaging real quick, we have the kind of basic Turtles of Grayskull logo up here with some pretty nice artwork of Two-Bop Steady. More great artwork on the side and the other side as well, showing you all the different weapons. This is the barcode down here. And on the back, we get some really fun artwork. It says accidents happen when you mess with mutagen. In the case of Bebop and Rocksteady, it can happen more than once. When Shredder's bickering lackeys crash into the ooze pit, they fuse together to form the massive, muscle-headed Two-Bop Steady. Alright, let's go ahead and crack this guy open. And just so you can see, as we open up the box, it gives you a few little directions about the figure. And I think these are fun because they're in full color and they're actually really nice artwork. Of course, like most of these figures, he comes with a guide for which parts can be switched out, as well as a gigantic art card. And I love the artwork on this. I kind of wish this was the image more prominently featured on the packaging. And on the back, we get some stats and powers. And as I just mentioned, this guy does come with the final parts of Metal Botto. It's funny just how much you get of him here. Both feet, one of the arms, and a bunch of attachments. So quite a bit. And here they are right out of the box. Two-Bop Steady. I really love the visual that we're getting right here. Especially with the old Playmates figures, a lot of the times you would get all sorts of extra little details that were sculpted all over them. A lot of the time they wouldn't be painted or anything, but you could still see all of this like massive amount of stuff. Well, I feel like some of that is present with the bandolier piece right there, where you have all sorts of little bits and things sculpted, and some of it's even painted in, like the silver on the daggers. There's some other great bits too, like over here with Bebop's head. And you can see that Bebop here actually has like a nose ring piece. I suppose it's like a gold plastic that's inserted. So I think that's terrific. The glasses aren't a separate piece or anything like that. And interestingly, with the Mohawk, it's coming out to more like an angular kind of look, almost like that there's spikes on his head like a dinosaur. That with the color separation on the teeth and the tusks, I think that all works really, really well for his head. On the other side, we have Rocksteady, and I like what they did for him as well. Once again, liking the color separation on the teeth and the eyes and all of that. I think that his hair looks a little weirder because, well, he's not really supposed to have hair. I've never seen a representation of Rocksteady that has this kind of spiky hair, and I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, the purple and the blue, like Too Bad. But it's still a little funny to see. So if there was actually one design element that I could probably erase, it would be that spiky blue hair on Rocksteady. I think it's a little weird. Other than that, I feel like all the colors and all that work out well for his side, and it looks good. It's also worth noting that this bandolier piece is actually not stuck to the vest here. So if you're not crazy about the bandolier and the weapon storage on the back, you can actually remove this and you can kind of work it off of the chest. And if you want to, you can get something more like this. I actually really like the bandolier and all that, and to me this looks a little plain. So I don't know why you do this, but it's certainly an option. So like I said, one cool thing is there is some weapon storage back here. So you can actually take the giant kind of gold sword and voila, you got a place to put it. Speaking of other accessories, he does have this ball and chain, or this mace, whatever you want to call it. And I'm pretty sure this is a straight up reuse of the one that came with the Megator style Krang. So that's pretty cool. But if you don't want this for his hand over here, you can give him the standard hand instead. You can jam the thumb through there, and I think that works well enough. I kind of think these guys really needed more of like a gun or a cannon though, because that's more what I think that Bebop and Rocksteady would be using, like some kind of blaster, and that's not out of the realm of possibility even for like Eternia, so I don't really see why they couldn't come with that. But you never know, maybe Viacom was kind of like, yeah, we don't really want them to have like a gun type weapon. I also like all the sculpting on the pants here. I like the turtle shell shoulder pad, which is in line with a lot of the other visuals we've seen for the other costumes in the line. It kind of looks like this is a floating piece that can just come right off, and the boots look really nice as well. It is funny that they do have the furry underwear right there in the middle, and the belt, so that's an important fashion statement on Eternia. I like that they went to the trouble of adding a rip on the back to show that the vest has been stretched way beyond its limit. Yeah, visually this guy is really strong. Articulation isn't anything that, we haven't seen before. Certainly, you can go all the way around, and these pieces are modular, so they can come right off just like any other figure in the line. One thing that I do like is it does feel like the legs have quite a bit of range, more than I even thought they would, which has more in common with the cartoon collection versus some of the old Origins figures. And I say that because you can straighten up his legs pretty substantially and make him even bigger, really. It's fun to have this guy because now we can assemble the team here. And here he is with both Shredder and Krang. And this is definitely a fun way to look at these characters in a way that we've certainly never seen them before. I've still not gotten my Leatherhead in from Walmart, so still waiting on that pre-order to ship, and I haven't found him in stores, so I don't have him. So it really does make for one of the more fun kind of gallery of rogues that we've seen in a little while, especially considering that you can put these then with the other villain figures from the line, and it gets even crazier. If memory serves, I do believe this guy is about $25 at Target, which is where he is an exclusive item. I think the one bad thing about this is this guy will probably give some people the bug to go back and try and recollect Metal Botto, and it may not be so easy now that some of those initial figures have sold out. I actually really don't like it when companies do Build-A-Figures that take, months and months and months to collect. I don't really think the Build-A-Figure thing is meant to be over that kind of span of time, but hey, at least it all came out, and for me it was relatively easy to find all the different figures, as Target.com did plenty of restocks of these guys. I do feel that this figure is another great example of Mattel kind of just showing how ingenuitive that they can be when it comes to fusing characters from Masters of the Universe and Ninja Turtles in a way that I didn't expect, and I think they look really nice together like this in honor of course, Too Bad. This guy is large and bulky, and the visual is so great, and there's so many fun little accessories and ways that you can play, and he's just a no-brainer for anyone who's a fan of Turtles or Masters of the Universe, not even necessarily both. I think people would absolutely love this guy either way. Alright guys, that should do it for my review of 2Bop Steady. If you enjoyed this, please let me know down below, and of course leave a comment telling me what you thought about this guy. And hit that like button and subscribe while you're here. It doesn't hurt a thing, and it really does help the channel grow. And as always, God bless you and yours, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever. Fanboy out.